Hey all you guys out there, Joseph here with Lava GR. Today, I'm gonna make your paint so smooth that all of your problems are just gonna slip right off of it. Your car's gonna call you Papi Chulo when you're done with it. WKLQ, Lava GR's greatest hits. Now guys, definitely make sure you go ahead and wash your car as normal. You need a fresh surface, something smooth, something clean before you start this next step. Meet our master detail technician, Joseph, and he's always so tense, so I'm gonna do some background narrating for him to spice things up a little bit.
All right guys, so this is a clay bar. It's nothing fancy about it. It's literally like a piece of putty. We use this by Clay Magic. They're about 30 bucks a piece, but I put a link in the description for you guys of some clay bars I found on Amazon. I think work just as well. I think it's like 18 bucks for a 3-pack.
Do you see what I mean? He's boring talking about Amazon and deals.
Now, when you first get your clay bar, it literally is a piece of clay. Nothing fancy about it. But because of how expensive they are, I like to break them in half. If I can get the wrapper off.
Oh yeah, take it off.
And I just rip them in half. You can see they're pretty tough little guys.
You look like a tough little guy.
All right, now check this out. I like to meet it. I don't know why my camera person keeps backing up further and further from me. Eventually we're gonna be in the corner.
Look at little Andrew Tate getting all aggressive with this camera woman.
Yeah, just like that. Put it in my palm. And the most important part when you're clay barring is you can use...
Go on, spit it out.
Use this when the car is wet, but I prefer that you use a clay bar lubricant. For this, we're just gonna use what we call clay flow, which is actually for this particular instance, we're using Correct It Liquid Plus by Tech 580. I'm sorry, by Technician's Choice. It's Tech 506 if you're looking for the exact number. This is pretty simple. All you're gonna do is you're gonna take some of your clay bar lubricant, or you can even use like a ceramic detail spray or a detail spray as well. I actually prefer using like a neutral soap myself, but for this instance, and because we're doing a ceramic coating, I'm gonna go by the book. So we're gonna use some of this product. You don't need a lot. Literally just gonna mist the surface. And when you're clay barring, you wanna make sure that you're using the clay according to the grain of the paint. So here, I have this nice curvature here, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm using my clay bar in an up and down motion. I'm gonna follow the grain. And I'm pressing down mildly, I wanna do a good job. And this paint's very, very clean, and as you've seen, we washed it 5 times, but check this out. You can still see that this is still pulling off surface contaminants, and that's why you see that discoloration versus, well, this is just dirt from the backside of my hand, but that's why it's gonna pull more dirt off. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna be left with a paint that is super, super smooth. And that's why it's so important to clay bar, especially if you're gonna ceramic coat or do any kind of paint correction, because you're gonna leave yourself with a better working surface.
Make sure when you're clay barring that you keep your palm down on the surface, so after you clay bar, you can feel if you've missed any of the rough contaminants. You can see how he takes that clay bar and he's caressing the entire vehicle, each panel, carefully, strategically.
Ooh. Yeah, show this. Show right here how I got. So if you go across a 3M film, you're gonna leave that. So make sure to try to avoid that as best as you can.
Don't forget, you can apply this method to any smooth surface such as glass, bumpers, headlights, you name it. Run free, run wild, let your inner clay bar flow.
Right.
Detail Girl and Joseph are now about to clay bar the entire vehicle.
So you've seen that we've washed this vehicle like 3 times prior to clay barring. Now you can see, just how much these actually pull off. So that's the other side. That's the dirty side. So that's the dirty side. Clean side. Dirty side, clean side. So yeah, clay bars make a huge difference. So you don't want to really do this out in the sun. The reason being is it will dry up like this on you, and then so you just have to re-wash it. It's not a big deal. Just use some soap, it'll wash right off. A second thing though, about a clay bar is they're not a one and done kind of thing. You want to make sure that you keep these. As long as you don't drop them on the floor, because then you're going to pick up that sand and that sediment, and then you have the chance of having that piece of sand that's in here scratch your paint. But what I like to do with these, when you're all done using them, just
Go on.
mend or whatever you call this, I forget, mesh, I don't know. Knead. There we go, knead. And when you go back to use it, boom, you have a fairly new clay bar again. And then the second thing to remember too is storing your clay bars. But make sure you get yourself a Ziploc bag, or you can also make sure, just to, like these bags are pretty cool. You can take this, put it back in there. I like to take a little bit of clay bar lubricant, where I leave it here. Take a little clay bar lubricant, spray it in there, shake it up. Reseal it. Now the purpose of that is that way it's not going to stick to the bag, it's going to stay a little bit moist, and they're not going to stick to each other as well. So now you have a nice, well-preserved $30 piece of putty that you're not just tossing. So yeah, I can get several more uses out of this, 15, 20, who knows, 30. It depends on how, like, what kind of cars are you doing. If you're not washing them properly, yeah, you're going to damage these. If you're using very acidic soap, like a low pH soap, then yeah, they're gonna damage them. If you're using inappropriate chemicals with this, like a solvent, it's gonna melt them, it's gonna get really tacky. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward and simple, guys.